We've normalized at this point over performance. Just because I'm good doesn't mean I have to overperform. They already know how good you are.
Welcome to the Climb Podcast, where we are diving into taboo topics and redefining the rules for women of color leaders. Get ready as we share the stories and amplify the voices of extraordinary women of color, from navigating workplace challenges to celebrating triumphs. On this podcast, we've got you covered. So buckle up and join us as we embark on today's empowering journey. Welcome to the Climb Podcast. I'm your host, Felicia Smith, the founder of The Climb, a 501c3 that's committed to increasing the number of women of color in leadership and managerial roles. And each week on this podcast, we pull back all the layers and talk about all the things that no one's talking about in terms of women in leadership and the things that we have to survive or go through on a day-to-day basis. And then how do we do that together and climb together and teach lessons together about our journeys. And so today I have a guest, so I'm super excited. I want to introduce you to Miss Ebony Grover, who is the founder and CEO of Love You Like a Sister. Welcome to the podcast, Ebony.
Thank you so much, Felicia. Pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited. We are talking about a topic that I think we can never talk enough about. And that is strong isn't the same as well. Why Black women's well-being is essential to sustainable leadership. So we always talk about leadership and it's important. You guys know I've been doing the whole season on leadership, but none of that matters if you're not taking care of yourself. It doesn't matter for you to be the strong woman, but you're not well, that you're burnt out, that you feel alone, that you don't feel like you have community. And so Ebony and I are going to dive into that topic. But before I start, Ebony, introduce yourself. Tell us about you and how you got into this line of work that you're doing.
Absolutely. So as Felicia mentioned, I am the CEO and founder of LYLAS, Love You Like a Sister. I started this community about 18 months ago because there was just a calling from the community where folks were looking for a community. Everyone wanted to, we're all navigating the same issues, but there's a limited amount of safe spaces where we can really discuss those issues, whether that's the glass ceiling, burnout, even how you wear your hair at work, right? These are all important issues for Black women that we need to discuss, we need to talk about, and we need community to do that. So that's why I developed LYLAS. And what we've kind of moved into now is developing a retreat as well. So come together and in person, all of the good things, all of the good vibes. So yes, that's what I'm doing.
I love it. And the thing that I connected with Ebony about is LYLAS is the same thing, right? How do we create community? Because we're all trying to do a similar thing, but we're trying to do it alone. And it is best when we're together. And so the space that you created and the ability to bring women together into safety is so important because it is so few and far in between. So tell me a little bit about your perspective on the topic of strong isn't the same as well. Give me a little background on why it's important to you in the work that you do.
Wow, it's so important. I mean, I think for Black women especially, oftentimes we're the first, we're the only. I know that my mom, my aunts, I did not see anyone in the corporate space.
Yeah.
So who's the blueprint? Where do you look to, right? But you also see these women that came before you that are doing all the things.
Yeah.
They're not resting. They're not asking for help. So you pick up on those same habits, right? Like, oh, well, this must be what it means, that what I'm supposed to be doing, and not realizing until you're to that point of complete exhaustion and burnout and you can't do any more, that you have to take a break. You have to step back.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to recognize that, especially for the generation coming behind us before we get there, right?
Yeah.
How do we recognize it and what do we do to combat it?
And also be honest about it, because when I was experiencing burnout, I asked a person that I thought would be able to provide me guidance, understanding, relatability. And they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never experienced that. And it was kind of hard for me to believe because in that person's role and position, there is no way. I feel like that even if they didn't experience burnout in its fullest extent, that there were some moments in their career where they were like, this is a lot of pressure, and what they did to kind of cope with that. And it was like one of those, it can make you feel lonely and isolated if you don't have someone who's willing to be honest about the journey, about being in the workplace, trying to be strong to the point that you do, like, jeopardize your own health. Yeah. So
Absolutely. And I
it,
think there's a level of vulnerability that's necessary, of course, but so many of us just don't have that, right? We're
yeah,
used to saying, I got it, I'll do it, I can take care of it, and then collapsing by ourselves alone
yeah.
instead of saying, hey, I need some help.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll go into our first segment, which is called "Somebody Should Have Told Me," and that segment's really about what we wish we knew, right? What we wish someone would have shared with us to make our journey a little bit easier. And to your point, someone should have told me that burnout was a thing, that it existed. And I will tell you, when I was honest about burnout, when I actually shared my story, it was more people actually still that was more sympathetic than people actually saying, "Yeah, I experienced
Mhm.
it." Why do you think it is that people who experienced it don't even want to talk about it?
Think that people don't want to admit it. I mean, we climb and we climb and Black women are so ambitious. So when we get to a certain position where we've prayed for, we've fought for, we've climbed over glass
That's
to
true.
get there, right? And now we're going to say it's too much. I can't handle it. I need help. That's a different level of vulnerability that I'm not sure that
True.
most are willing to admit, which I completely understand. Even myself, I struggle with it, right? Because we want to say, I prayed for this, I worked for this. Yes, I can do this. And
Mhm.
yes, we can do it, but it's okay to say we need help. It is.
For sure. And you know what? Maybe, and as I think about it, I do think that the person needs help. But to your point, I don't think that burnout is a sign of weakness.
Mm.
It is more for me a sign of you need to slow down, listen to your body, take breaks, take rest, and understand your limits from a day to day basis. Like when your body is signaling a thing, stop trying to push it because you
Yeah.
feel like you have to show up and do a thing. To your point, there's a level of humility that comes with, or being humble when it comes with you wanting to like go full force and now your body's like no. And I think for me, even in that time, it was I've always done this, I've always worked this way, right? But the older you get, it was like, nah, we're not doing the same thing we were doing at 20 now. You are too old to be
Hmm.
running these hours, taking on this amount of stress. How can we reframe burnout to not be such a topic that feels isolating and shameful? Is there a way that we can reframe it?
Is. I mean, I think that what we have to do again is understand that we need to delegate. As Black women, we're not used
Mhm.
to delegating. So burnout doesn't mean that we're not capable, we're weak, all of those things.
I
It
love
just
that.
means we have not learned to delegate. And
I love
oftentimes we
that.
do carry everything, right? We're like, I can do it, put it on my back, put it on my plate, I got it. No, we have to learn to say somebody else can do that. That's not important. Someone else can take on that for me. That's okay. Let me focus on the other work, and that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so good. And it also goes back to this whole term of being resilient. Like there was a Gallup study that talks about like Black women feeling like we had to be more resilient than anyone else for all the same reasons you said. But to your
Mhm.
point, resilience doesn't mean you have to do it all. Resilience may mean that you actually, to your point, ask for help, but not asking for help because you're weak, but you really do need to delegate. Like you really do need somebody else's help. So that is, wow, I love that. I love that. What are
And
some other things?
rest is resilience as well, and we have to realize that.
Oh, I
Right? That's
struggle.
a form of self-care, but it's also a form of, staying resilient. We
Yeah.
have to we have to gear up for the game. We have to nourish our bodies, and part of nourishing our bodies is not only eating healthy, working out, doing all the things, but taking rest when we need to. And that's okay. And we
Yeah.
have to realize that rest doesn't need to be earned. It's not something that needs to be earned.
Oh, Ebony. Why are you talking to me like that?
We all need a nap.
Yes. But doesn't it, when you are a hard charging, I'm going to say type A, but it can be another type. You do feel like, man, if I take this nap, then I'm not going to do this thing. And now I feel bad because I know I need to do this thing. And it is. So it's almost like sleep is only a reward for you overdoing it. How do
Yeah.
we retrain ourselves to not? Somebody should told me that sleep wasn't a reward. I agree. So how do we
Yeah.
like? How do we reprogram ourselves to your point to say like this isn't a treat? Like no, you really need rest in order to be the person you need to be.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to retrain ourselves. It's going to be uncomfortable because we're so used to checking the box, right? And we're so used to our performance being the thing that makes us. And so
Mhm.
we have to retrain ourselves to say, you know what? I can take a rest. And if you take a rest, you're going to come back stronger. You're going to come
Yeah.
back more clear. We need those rests. Just
Yeah.
like everyone else needs a rest. We're not machines. We can't just go 24/7, check all the boxes and do all the things. Like
Mhm.
we need that time to recharge. Have you ever taken a nap and woke up and said, you know what? Okay, I'm clearer now. I'm more focused now. I can do this now. And you're doing it with a different clarity.
Yeah.
And we have to remind ourselves of that constantly and remind each other.
I know. You just
Yeah.
reminded me. I felt like it was personal, but I know it wasn't. Let's move on to segment two, which is truth is. So, what do you think are some very hard truths that we have to tell ourselves about what it means to be well, what it means to be whole, and how that differs from being strong?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, wellness is definitely not the same as being strong. And sometimes we confuse the two. But wellness is really being your whole self, not being up at night stressed out about things, not, needing to take a vacation as your only reprieve, not thinking that a manicure and pedicure is a reset. No, that's just maintenance. Like we really have to retrain ourselves to say we are deserving of rest.
Hmm.
We are deserving of that. There's nothing wrong with it. Others take rest, they take their time. They're not rushing through tasks. They're really being intentional about the things that they're doing. And we have to operate in that same accord.
Yeah.
We don't have to be strong. We don't have to take on everything. That's not our job.
Yeah. What's interesting, Ebony, is, since, and we're not going to go into the whole like social media viral thing about, the kids at Tuskegee, not being able to wear do rags and bonnets. But a part of
Mm,
that, what resurfaced was the video of Scandal, where Papa, I forgot his name, Papa Eli, I think it's Eli,
hmm.
tells, Kerry Washington, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? You have to be twice as good
Yeah.
to get half as much. And so, and that's something that we still honestly hold true, right?
Hmm.
How do
Hmm.
we balance maybe that truth or narrative with you need to balance, you need to have rest, you need to take care of yourself well. How do we balance those? That's the truth I think we're all looking for.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yes, I mean, I grew up with those same kinds of directions from my parents. You have to be twice as good to get half as far,
Hmm.
right? But we've normalized at this point over performance.
Hmm.
Just because I'm good doesn't mean I have to overperform.
Mm.
I mean, I
That's
said this,
good.
most organizations, they know how good you are. They hired you because they know how good you are. You're still there because they know how good you are. They're just hoping you don't know how good you are. That's really what it
Yeah.
is. They're
Yeah.
hoping you don't know that. So because they're
Good.
hoping we don't know that, we're overperforming. We're doing all the things. We're going outside of the role. I mean,
Yeah.
we're doing everything for what? They already know how good you are.
Yeah. It almost feels like a trauma response
It
of, yes,
is.
to your point, you hired me, you know how good I am, but I still have to prove to you that you weren't wrong. I have to
Mm.
prove to
Mhm.
you that what you believed in me is actually true. And I can
Mhm.
be honest, I suffer from that sometimes too. And I have to have conversations with myself of like, hey, you're good. Like
Mhm.
you know you're good. They know you're good. So why do you feel like you have to go that extra mile? And what is the sacrifice that you make when you go the extra mile? What's the trade-off?
Yeah,
Because if I'm there 12 hours a day, I'm trading off something else. So what is
absolutely.
that trade-off? Oh, that's so good. Any other
Yeah.
truths you're thinking about that you want to share with the audience?
I would say we've confused productivity with purpose.
Mm, that's
And we
true.
have to we have to we have to make that discernment. It's not the same, you know. I think oftentimes corporate America does see Black women as the workhorses. They know that we're going to put
That's for
in the
sure.
12 hours, that we're going to stay late, we're going to get the things done, we're going to take on the extra responsibilities. But until we stop doing that, they're going to keep knowing that we're going to do that. So we have to
For
prioritize
sure.
ourselves, we have to prioritize our families, the things that are important, and our purpose.
Mhm.
Our purpose is not to work 15 hours a day. I know that.
For sure. For sure. That's the truth. And we have gotten, I mean, they just know that we're going to perform. I was talking to someone about that not too long ago, and they were like, yeah, they just send things to me because they know when I do it, I'm going to get it right.
Mhm.
My question is, but is that the right thing though? Right? Is it
Mm-mm.
the right thing for it always to come to your desk? Or is it the right thing that somebody else needs to be responsible for doing it also? And if they don't get it right, then they learn and now they can do it. But if it
Right.
always comes to my desk, now I'm responsible for everybody else's success. Now I'm there, to your point, 14 hours. They at home at the kitchen table with their
Mhm.
kid or with their husband or hanging out with their friends at happy hour. Meanwhile, you're the person who's stuck. And I don't think we think that through often enough of, you know, to your point, I think we've placed value in
Yeah.
purpose and being needed.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody at the job calls my name. Everybody needs me to be in place. But that's
Mhm.
not the same thing, to your point, as being productive
Mhm.
and really working in, what does the big leap say? Working in your genius zone.
Mm.
I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's so good. Let's talk about our last segment, which is another rung mended and climb. And this is where, Ebony, I want you to share all the wisdoms that you feel like as Black women we really need to be carrying, about what it means to be well, to be whole, and I think at that point to really be able to thrive in a workplace. Because I think if we're just trying to be strong, we're surviving, and I've done that
Absolutely.
for a number of years. But I myself am thinking, how do I not survive and thrive in this next phase of my career? What advice would you give us?
Woo! That is a big question. All right. So the advice I would give you to move from surviving to thriving is really to stand on your ground. I mean, if you, whatever your job role is, and you are doing your job and you know that you are good again, they've hired you, you're doing your thing. There's no reason to overperform. We
Yeah.
don't need to. That's our own stuff. And we have to let go of that. We have to stop thinking about what we can pick up and really start thinking about what we can put down or
Yeah.
what we can delegate to other people because it's not all of ours to carry. And just because we're strong doesn't mean everything needs to be on our back. We
Yeah.
need to prioritize our health. If your job is getting in the way of you going to a doctor's appointment, get into the dentist, the eye doctor, or even prioritizing your mental health, it may be something you want to rethink. It's something you may want to rethink because it's not sustainable, and we have to be here for our families. We have to be here for our friends. We have to be here for our loved ones. I can guarantee you, if I were to, God forbid, drop dead today, they will post my job tomorrow.
Facts.
That is exactly what it will be. But my family can't replace me. So I have to be mindful of that always and really prioritize myself so that I can be around, not only for me, but for them.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
why do you think we don't prioritize ourselves? I'm very curious about this topic because I'm asking you the question, but I'm also asking myself. I'm just trying to get to the mindset there of, why do we say, well, I can't go to the dentist because I have to do this thing.
Yeah. I think we're used to being last.
Oof, that's a hard
I
truth.
do. I mean, yeah. I mean, I hate to say it that way, and I had to sit with that one for a while, but I think we're
Yeah.
used to being last. I mean, we prioritize our children, we prioritize our husbands, we prioritize our households oftentimes, and then we get to work and we kind of do the same thing. But there has to be a distinction, right? There's not, I mean, your household is different than your work life. Your work life, you're there for a purpose, you're getting a check.
Yeah.
That's it. Do what's on your job description. If you
Yeah.
want to do a stretch opportunity that's going to benefit you, that's a difference than just taking on different responsibilities because somebody asked you to, because they wanted you to order the cake for so and so's birthday, because they wanted you to, clean the office, whatever it is. That's
Yeah.
not your job. That's not your role. And it's
Yeah.
not going to get you the promotion anyway. So you might as well go and put it down.
Correct, correct. Ryan Bathe on their podcast, We Don't Always Agree, talks about this invisible, she called it an invisible weight, maybe, about
Hmm.
how, women of color, to your point, we carry so much in addition to, the work that we do, being a mother, being a wife, all of these things. And we often do put ourselves last because we're always trying to calculate what everybody else needs.
Yeah.
And so that always, and to your point, when you said it, it feels like a ton of bricks
Hmm.
because it's that truth that we don't really want to talk about. Like, yeah, we're last. If we even go back to, I'll go back to my mom and growing up in the house, like she would fix food for everyone else first, right? We're always of service to someone else. And we fell into that mode, and then everyone else has fell into that mode too of expecting that from us.
Oh yeah.
And so then we've taught people how to treat us,
Hmm.
right? We've
Hmm.
taught them that, oh, she'll be okay staying. I'm gonna go home. That's tough, Ebony. That was a tough truth. that
Yeah.
was that's tough. Wow, that one sits heavy. I'm gonna meditate on that one. What other, if there were three things other that you wanted women to know, what would be those three things?
I would say let's stop celebrating women for how much they're carrying and ask them what they need help with, right? That's one of the things that I think society should do instead of celebrating them for that. We celebrate the people that show up for everything, that do all the things, but we need to celebrate the woman that's whole, the one that's put things down, the one that prioritizes herself, the one that makes it to the doctor's appointments and, spends regular scheduled times with her therapist and looks like she's, thriving in life. That's the woman we need to celebrate. What I don't want on my obituary is she was tired all the time.
Ooh, come on
She
now.
worked real hard. That's not what you want. What you want is that she was a loving mother. She was a great wife. She was a wonderful friend. She spent time with people. We have to reclaim our time. We really do. We
Mm.
have to reclaim our time because it's ours. And there's such a limited amount of it that we really do have to reclaim it. And we have to put things down. We have to know our worth. And that, I think that's the first part, is really knowing our worth and standing in that. I don't have to
Yeah.
overperform because I know my worth. So I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, I love that. There's so many nuggets in that because you said a lot of things, but reclaiming our time and our worth. What does it look like for the woman right now who's like, I'm struggling. No one has asked me
Mm. Hmm.
like how I'm carrying it. So I'm trying to carry it on my own. How does she begin her first step of reclaiming her time? What can she do first?
Oh, that's a great question. Little by little, little by little. So, I mean, it depends. If she's at home, maybe she can hire a housekeeper if she's able to.
Mm.
Someone to come in maybe once a month. That's where I started. Somebody to come in once a month. Hey, get this together because that'll give me a little bit more free time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
she can order Uber Eats instead of cooking. That'll give you a little bit more
Yeah.
free time to do something, you
Yeah.
know? Have her husband watch the kids, ask the mother-in-law, ask the auntie to watch the kids. Go get your nails done, go get your hair done, get a massage, do something for yourself so that
Yeah.
you feel good, so that you feel rested, so that you feel whole.
Yeah. And you have to
Yeah,
be okay with that and not feel like it's oh, I don't even have time to do that. No, you have time to
yeah,
find
you have
you
to make time.
you have time to find you someone to clean your house now, or Uber Eats is quick. And if you don't want to Uber Eats, at least order the food and then you can go
Yeah,
pick it up. But to your
yeah,
point, it's the little bites out of the apple as
yeah,
opposed to trying to just eat the whole thing at once. Yeah, you're not going to overnight become a different person, but the little things that you can do that helps make you a whole person. That
absolutely. And from a work perspective, ask for help. Ask for help, or say, okay, you're giving me something else on my plate. Which of these things would you like to come off?
yes, agreed.
And
Or for,
that's okay.
or for people who struggle with delegation,
Hmm.
one of the things that I've been trying to do, because just trying to figure out what are the things that I can take off my plate. Now, I know people feel different ways about AI, but I have been asking like, hey, I'm doing all of these things. What are some things that I can delegate? What type of
Hmm.
person can I delegate them to? Like, even if you're struggling to figure out what you can give away,
Hmm.
there are things that can help you. And also, a part of giving something or delegating something means that it may not be done exactly the way you would have
Oh, yeah.
done it. That is okay.
Yes.
It is okay that they are not going to do it exactly the way you've done it, as they might
Hmm.
do it a little bit better. It might be a
Hmm.
different outcome, but delegation is your freedom. That's your
Absolutely.
ticket. That's your
Yeah.
ticket. But if you're
And
not
that's a
willing to
hard
do
one to
it,
capture too
yes,
in your mind, because you're like, they're not going to do it the same as me. It doesn't matter. You didn't have to do it.
correct.
Yeah.
And they have to learn.
Hmm.
And if you're also a woman who's looking to move to that next level, work yourself out of a job. That's how you
Hmm.
work yourself out of a job, right?
Hmm.
You don't want to be the person who I can't move her because she's the only one who knows how to do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So if you are, yeah, they're not going to do it perfect, but they're going to do it. And they'll
Absolutely.
learn lessons and then you'll move on. Yeah, no, I love that. Wow. I mean, you've shared a lot of things. Tell me how you integrate some of these things into the work you're doing and the retreat. Talk a little bit about the retreat and what's coming up with that.
Oh, I'm so excited to share it with you. So,
Uh-huh.
I am hosting a retreat specifically for women of color. It is taking place in New Orleans, which is one of my favorite cities.
Me too.
I love New Orleans. So,
I love
it's going to
food.
be a vibe. And it's October 6th through 8th. So, for all of the women that are able to join us, please prioritize yourself. Join us
Yes.
for this retreat. It is a combination of professional development meets wellness. So, not only will we be having daily yoga classes, going to the spa, getting massages, facials, all the things, we're staying in a beautiful Black owned hotel.
All
All of our
right.
vendors are Black owned. So that is from the yoga studio to all of the dinners and the scrumptious eats that we'll be enjoying. Those are all from Black vendors as well. And so we're pouring into the community as the community is pouring into us, but it's a place to really build community, but also invest in yourself. One of the courses that we're going to be covering during this time is nervous system reset,
Mm.
assimilation, not as a power move. I'm sorry, non assimilation as a power move. So, all of
Mm.
these things we'll be covering. So, all of the topics are very BIPOC women specific. These are all of the professional development programs that we need. And sometimes what we need is to kind of transition out of our job, and we have sessions for that as well. If
That
that's
too.
what's your life is calling you to do. So we'd love for all of you to join us. You can visit our website at www.lilasbiz, it's LYLASBIZ.com.
Awesome. That sounds so good. And I love me some New Orleans food. Ooh, y'all are going to eat so good.
Oh, we are.
So tell them, so if they want to just reach out to you, if they want to reach out to your group that's meeting, how do they find you on all the platforms?
Absolutely. So I'm on LinkedIn. So that would be Ebony Grover, MBA on LinkedIn. We also have an Instagram page, which is Lila's Love You Like a Sister. So any one of those avenues you can reach out to us to, or again, you can just come onto our website.
Awesome. Ebony, it was great to have you on the podcast. I've learned a lot. I've taken what you've said to heart for myself. And I hope that the retreat is amazing, that your organization grows 1,000-fold. There can't be enough organizations out there that's doing the work to help women, Black women, BIPOC women, all the things for us to create community and create safe spaces. So I appreciate you. I applaud you 18 months in, and I hope it continues to grow exponentially. So
Thank you, Felicia.
thank you guys so much for listening. If you know a woman, and everybody knows a woman who is dealing with trying to be strong, trying to hold together from everyone, and they believe that that's the way, what we have talked about today is strong does not equal wellness. And most importantly, we have to be able to reclaim our time and reframe what it looks like for us to be whole and well. So if you have a friend who's struggling, who's trying to navigate and she's burnt out, she's tired, she's always hustling, share this episode with her. And if you have not already, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or any of your social media platforms. But every woman needs to be talking about what wellness looks like for them in 2026 and moving on. But until next time, I want you to remember that we are not just climbing ladders, we are building ladders to success and building community amongst ourselves. So until next time, keep climbing, keep striving, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning into the Climb Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on wherever you listen to podcasts. For updates and behind-the-scenes content, make sure you're following us on Instagram and LinkedIn at Join the Climb. Until next time, keep climbing and keep thriving, sis. See See you next episode.